Good evening, warriors. Welcome to the U Movement. I am B. And I promised that I would give you awakening updates in real time, which is more important now than ever because more and more I am very in tune with the fact that what I'm going through, the collective is going through. So my first message to everyone out there is you are not alone. You may feel alone, you may be physically alone, but you are not alone. This awakening that we find ourselves on is a collective grouping of individuals that are in touch with me and watching my channel, and we are going through very similar things at the same time. I've had a lot of people reach out to me and I've made some posts over there on Facebook, checking in with people, and people are suffering with a lot of tiredness and exhaustion. Some are experiencing physical symptoms, physical purges. My kidneys are definitely flushing something, so I've got myself some cranberry juice on the go. But you may be experiencing any number of aches and pains as the Kundalini is pushing out the darker, denser energies. And so as things are being purged from us in this purification process, we can have any number of ascension symptoms. I did a video on ascension symptoms, maybe about 18 months or so ago. That would be somewhere in the Awakening playlist. It's called Ascension Symptoms. But those can happen. Your sleep schedule is going to be a little bit whack. Mine has been out of whack for a couple of months now. And I'm sleeping when I shouldn't be sleeping, and I'm awake when I shouldn't be awake, and I'm tired, I'm exhausted, and I'm purging. So then you can also have all the deep emotional purges that come with this process. And I've said in lots of videos, things in our outside world will trigger us, and they are divinely orchestrated, even though we don't want to think of it like that, but they are in fact divinely orchestrated to help purge out. So what I have been experiencing is more emails coming in, which is releasing the fear. And I want to talk about, the release of emotions, because a lot of our emotions that are being released are old emotions. They're not new. I'm not just reacting to the present day situation. I'm reacting from a place of a memory inside the nervous system. And so you can see I'm very jittery as the energy is flowing through me. And so my nervous system carries a lot of fear in it. And it's like the nervous system gets poked, and it's like a memory floods through your entire body, and you need to release. So I've been purging a lot today, having what's known as a pure fear purge. And I'm hoping that I'm approaching my breakthrough. And it's very difficult. Maybe you're experiencing a rage purge. Maybe you're experiencing, a grief purge. Maybe you're experiencing a different emotion surfacing, because it's like whatever the present day situation is coming along, and it's like magnetically attracting all similar energies in your body for release, all similar energies. And so my background, being adopted and then raised in an abusive household, I repressed and compressed fear all of my life. Fear of emotions, fear of all of them. I didn't like any of them particularly. And now finally being completely sober, the last substance I did would have been, I'm not entirely sure, 19 months ago. Would have been May of 2022. So it was May of 2022. And so I've been navigating through, the rest of my awakening sober, which a lot of us have been called to do. We are forced to let go of those coping mechanisms as we're going through this process of purification, right? So we're purifying our body, we're purifying our emotional landscape, and we're purifying our mental chatterbox of a house that's really kind of not helpful at all. I've found it's like there's a ghost in the machine up there, and the mind runs amok, and creates any number of storylines. And so I've been very diligent in trying to silence the mind as much as possible and not listen to it. But that doesn't mean that there's still not the experiencing of the release of fear. So it's kind of like I'm feeling fear, and I'm trying to, my mind is wanting to go, okay, well, maybe this is what I'm afraid of, or that is what I'm afraid of, and try to grab hold of things to explain the fear when there really is no explanation needed, because, or story or justification, because it's a release of an energy trapped in my body. So physically, I've been experiencing real tightness in the chest that wraps all the way around. It feels like somebody's wrapped a rope around my upper torso, or like there's a python or something just squeezing. Maybe it's Kundalini that's squeezing it all out. I've done a little bit of trigger point therapy. I've done a little bit of my massage gun, as the energy is going to do what it's going to do, and I have to purge through it. So for anybody out there that's like experiencing intense emotions, the practice of being in the observer and distancing ourselves from it, and just holding space for ourselves while we're going through it, is the key, is to sit in the burn and to allow what needs to be released to be released. And so, as I said, I've had a good few wailing, crying fits, and no judgment about that, because the old me would have judged myself very harshly. The inner critic would have presented and said, you need to hold yourself together. You need to get on with things. You can't live life like this. This is wrong. These are the kind of things that's in my head, which is not helpful. It's not useful information at all. It's so silencing the mind becomes, the mental chatter becomes a challenge while you're processing emotions, because we've been indoctrinated for so long to believe that, emotions are wrong, or if they're too big, then, then there's a problem. There's a disorder of some sort. And I'm not disordered. I'm having a very profound spiritual experience known as a spiritual awakening. And it sucks, is what it does. It's not an easy process. It's a very challenging and difficult process, because, as Buddha tells us, it's through our suffering that we become enlightened. And I like the word enlightened, because if you take the N and the tinned off, you get enlightened. So that's what's happening, is we're lightening up energetically. We're releasing stored, dense, dark energies in us, and those get released through the emotional landscape, through our expressing of them. And so, maybe you feel inspired to cry. Maybe you feel inspired to scream. Maybe you feel inspired to shake it out and do some physical movement to assist it. Maybe you feel like doing some, actual physical, tapping and anything and anything you feel like doing, just do it. Give yourself the permission to do it, no matter how weird or wonderful it may seem. We want to help facilitate it. And what I've noticed in the allowing of myself to express the emotions, to sit in the pain without judgment, is that certain beliefs are also then being challenged. So it's like a trigger effect, right? Those it's a domino effect where a situation happens outside of you that triggers something inside of you for release and an emotional memory. And that's attached to a belief, to the memory. And so on. So it's a domino effect through all the bodies that we have. Now, what do I mean by all the bodies? Well, we have our physical form, we have our etheric body, we have the emotional body, we have the mental body, and then we have the spiritual body. We're huge. And so some of the beliefs that are coming up for me with this current fear purge is, I'm all alone and nobody's here to help me, and how am I going to navigate through this all by myself? And nobody understands me and nobody appreciates me. Now, none of those things are true. But my nervous system, that's the script that goes with that feeling. So the feeling is fear. And on top of the fear is this belief that I am, nobody can appreciate what I'm going through. Well, that's been proven incorrect. So physically, I may be alone in my bedroom, but I'm not alone in my house. I have my soul kids that care for me and are amazing humans, absolutely amazing humans. I just adore them. And they've supported me in so many wonderful ways. And then I have my community. I have a community. I've never had a community in my life. And I have like a real community of all of you guys out there. And that's kind of mind-blowing for me. See, mind-blowing. So beliefs are being blown up, which is good because that's part of identity collapse, because my identity holds on to this belief that I am alone and unsupported, when the reality is I'm not alone and I am supported. I'm supported more now than I ever have been in my entire life. I have people that check in with me routinely, and I have this collective that is experiencing similar things that I'm experiencing at the exact same time, and that community continues to grow every single day. In fact, I've never not been so not alone in my entire life. And then on top of that, I've never been in a situation where I had trust or faith in God maneuvering things in my life for my highest and greatest good, which also proves I'm not alone. I'm not alone in this realm, and I'm not alone in the spiritual realm either. So this belief of being on my own and unsupported and ununderstood begins to crumble. And so this is the process of identity collapsing. because we hold certain beliefs with us our whole lives. And believing I was alone and had to do it all by myself and couldn't let anyone in. But now I'm letting everyone in through my channel, through this soul mission. Soul kept pushing me out of my comfort zone to do this YouTube and to support others, not realizing again that another duality would collapse, because in supporting others, I'm being supported. And that's like... So I know that this situation that's happening is triggering this domino effect. And I wanted to share with you that awareness because, one, the processes of getting through it, a lot of people get overwhelmed in their emotion and don't know how to process through it. And the processing is sit in it, be in it, hold the awareness that you are releasing and have no judgment while that happens, however that release looks like for you. It's practicing non-judgment. It's practicing self-love. It's practicing reparenting the inner child. It's practicing as stillness or movement, depending on what your body is going to help facilitate to help shift that energy out. If it's rage, maybe movement is more, getting up and shaking it, or doing head banging, dancing to some Rage Against the Machine or something. But if it's fear, like I've experienced in this last round, doing some healing body work has been the key. So once we process it, we can understand what's coming up for review, perhaps, because we're just allowing it we're just letting ourselves marinate in it. And so, yes, this whole idea that I'm alone, and now is that my situation terrifying? Yes, having lawyers say it's going to be at minimum another month of being in this no man's land, and it is not what I want to hear, but maybe it's for my highest and greatest good, whether I would like it or not. And that's where having trust and faith in God has come into this. And that's been challenging for me because I wasn't raised with any form of religion or faith in my home growing up. The opposite, in fact. It was a vacuous void of no faith. That type of stuff I would have been ridiculed for. So I kind of see myself always as being kind of in the closet, spiritually speaking, because I wasn't allowed to express my desire to know and understand Jesus, or know and understand Buddha, or know and understand any other teachings. I always had a fascination for it, but it was a secret, dirty pleasure. And, when I was started my education back when I was 18, is when I first kind of opened my door to spirituality through the Native community, because my college program, my addictions program, was a Native-based program, and learning the teachings of the elders. So I've been accumulating spiritual knowledge, but accumulating knowledge and living in trust, living in faith of something higher and greater, in a life that has been fraught with difficulties, has been challenging. So the test right now for me is to learn to trust. Is through this experiencing, is to learn to trust that things are being moved for me, even though it's miserable. It's not an easy process, this journey that we're on at all. And the only way is one day at a time. is where we are, because we have to be in presence and in the moment. And it's challenging. And I sending love to all of you guys out there that are going through your own purges, however they look. Drop a line in the comments if you have a specific purge that you're going through, or hop on over and join us in the Spiritual Warrior Support Group, and you can talk about some of your stuff there and maybe get some feeling of collective energy yourself, that what you're experiencing, you're not alone. More than anything, I want to build a community so that people, while they're going through this, don't feel alone, because that's what's so overwhelming. But we're not alone. We have each other, and Spirit said to me, if you build it, they will come. A little bit of Field of Dreams right there. And so I've been building the You Movement and a Spiritual Warriors community over there on Facebook, and it's beautiful. It's absolutely beautiful. I've never in my life felt so seen, so heard, so understood. It's such a different thing when you go your whole life feeling weird, like you don't fit in, like you're being taken advantage of, or you're, too gullible. I tried all kinds of ways to fit into different communities, and never have I felt so much like myself, and so much, so appreciated for being myself, that I can finally be myself. I do feel a lot of gratitude, overwhelmed and confused by it, because when you believe something your whole life for 52 years, or just turned 52, when you believed something for 52 years and then all of a sudden it's not the truth anymore, it's hard to integrate. So I have no doubt I'll be integrating the new reality that I'm not alone. There is community. I am supported, and I like, wow, like just wow. Wow. That's amazing. That's just amazing. I'm sending you all my love out there. Don't feel like you are alone. If you want to book a one-on-one with me, we can certainly set that up. All of my services are by donation. I can help you walk through, as I've walked through these fields. I'm in the fire here with you, and I can support you through some of the more difficult and challenging things, because, well, I've been through it. And even that, there's another mind-blowing, every day I'm having new clients reach out, and I'm just like, wow. There is a certain degree of awe and utter amazement that comes when things start going well for you. Yeah, it's not like you would necessarily imagine. I guess people think that they're going to, arrive at wherever there is, and there'll be like a little bit of a ticker tape parade as you walk through the gates of I made itness. And it's not like that. At least it's not been like that for me. It's been like good people show up, and you know, I have the best friends I've ever had in my entire life that have shown up in the last few years, because as my energy has changed and my resonance has changed, it's repelled out of my life old energies that were very narcissistic in nature and unreciprocal and unappreciative, and it's resonated in new energies. And so Soul Tribe blows my mind. Having friendships that are there for you and listen to you and know how to show compassion, that it blows your mind. And when your soul's mission starts making inroads, it blows your mind. There's just so much mind-blowingness, and that's the point of an awakening, is you're blowing up this construct inside your head, this mental construct of who you are and what life is and everything. And so if your mind is being blown, that's a good sign. That's a good sign. That's a very good sign. And I'm going to try to be curious. We had lovely Tyler Miller, who did an interview with me on UTalk last week. And one of the things that he was talking about was curiosity and stepping into curiosity. And I love his philosophy about that, of, you know, trying to shift out of fear and into curiosity of, well, what's going to happen? I'm curious, come from a place of curiousness. And so cultivating trust, cultivating faith, cultivating presence, cultivating curiosity, cultivating appreciation, cultivating observance, cultivating mindfulness. All of these are lessons and steps along this path. And like, there has been so many of these new things that you need to cultivate. Cultivate grace. Cultivate. So it's like we're steadily working our way up that emotional landscape into higher energies of peace, of harmony. But that starts within, and we only get there when we cultivate all these new energies that maybe you haven't been living your life in. If you've been living your life like I have, which has been in a whole bunch of fear and a whole bunch of depression and a whole bunch of anxiety, masked by a whole bunch of coping strategies. You're not alone. Peace out.